Let me just start off this video by saying that, yes, scamming is everywhere. It is a serious matter. You may think it's kind of funny sometimes when you fool with the person, but most of the time, a person is going to get scammed out there. And I just hope that this video does end up helping someone. And with that said, enjoy. And of course, you're probably all aware, watching this video, that scamming is just straight up stealing items from people that is of worth value. And it can be done in a multitude of ways. It could be like a person gives lesser items, or they just steal it straight up, or they have like a special way to get a hold of your item. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same thing. But how do you prevent such a matter? Well, I have a few things, but they're my way, so I mean, if you don't end up liking them, you don't have to do it. This is just the precautions that I take. Now, when I first get added by a person who I think is a potential trader, I like to look at their inventories just to make sure that they have the items that I want/need, so that I don't end up wasting my time with them. Of course, these are where a few red flags may pop up. If you are looking at their inventory and you can't even see the items, it is privated, that should put off a few red flags, because usually people who use backpack.tf want their inventory to be shown to everybody, so that in case a potential trader comes in, they can just flaunt all their items and show a person what they have. After, or maybe even before looking at their inventory, you should look at their profile for red letters that state either trade banned or vac banned, because that means that they're either unsportsmanlike, or they have done some pretty nasty things to some unsuspecting victims already. And with that said, they obviously have another bot or account waiting to take your items. The next thing you're going to want to look on an inventory is in the comment section of a profile. Usually people who do a lot of good trades and are very respectable people have plus rep. Well, that can be a double-edged sword, and I just so happen to have plus rep as well. Now, usually people who have that are respectable and nice people, but sadly that is not the case. You will usually see a lot of scammers who have friends or bots that just say plus rep on their profile all the way, just to make you have a false sense of security so that they can easily snag those items away from you. I wouldn't trust it. I just like to talk to the person, and that's how it should be. Finally, for profiles, you should look for the item showcase. Now, item showcases are given to you once you reach a certain level of Steam, and you can put items in there for trading, or items that you just have that are of rare value. And normally, people just like to have it as a certain pizzazz to their profile. But sometimes it's a little sketchy when you see a person put multiple of the same item up on their inventory. That might just raise a few red flags. I might be a little bit paranoid, but I still think it's a little bit weird and you should look out for it. Next up is talking and the certain scams that go on from there. Usually, when you start talking with a person, just always be generous and be nice. No matter how sketchy they may seem, they might just actually be a nice trader who's just looking a little strange. But there are a few things that can raise a few red flags while talking, and I just feel like these happen multiple times. Like, this isn't even like a rare situation. These will happen multiple times during trading. First of all, this happens the most. People will often say, is your item dirty or duped? And like, if you know that it's clean, they will still not listen to you. That's one red flag. But here's the biggest part. They will ask you to trade it to a friend to make sure it's clean. And once you do that, they will ask you which friend you've traded it to. They will become you and trade with that friend, hoping to steal that item from you. Now, if you ever do these deals, they're very dangerous. I wouldn't suggest ever saying yes unless you are for sure trading with this guy, like you know he's gonna do the trade, and you are on with your friend on like a call or texting them just to make sure that that person who gives them the message is not you. be careful with that. Now, usually when talking with a trader, if they don't go for the first scam, they'll go for this scam, and that is to add a middleman. They'll say it's an admin from Steam, but it's most likely their friend posing as an admin, or their friend maybe even is an admin. But the truth of the matter is, they will steal your items. Never trust this kind of trade, because no trade needs to have more than 2 people. If the guy doesn't trust you, he doesn't deserve your items. That's as simple as that. And I feel bad for anyone who had to go through this, but I mean, we're all stupid sometimes. Now that those 2 previous trade scams are out of the way, know this, that when a person asks you to trade your item to see if it's dirty or clean, always just give them the backpack.tf history. It will show them that the weapon is hopefully clean, if not duped, and if at most, it will just lower the price a little bit. But at least you're showing the person that you are trustworthy, and if they don't trust you even after that, they are not trustworthy. Finally, when talking to a person on Steam, if they're a complete stranger, like you have no real reason to trust them, and they send you a link, never click on it. It could give you a virus, it could straight up take your item, it could send you to a website that you just don't really want to go to. But, I mean, just don't be stupid when trading, and never click on the link. Finally, the last thing we're going to talk about are websites. Now, websites are everywhere for TF2 trading or CSGO trading, but very few of them can actually be trusted to the fullest. First of all, there is OP skins. Now, a lot of people have done videos on OP skins. If you want to even check some, go to Pyro Joe for his OP skins video. But I'm just here to tell you what happened to me. Now, what happened to me, and what happens to a lot of people, is they either have an OP skins account, or they don't. I didn't at the time, so the person helped me make my own OP skins account, and he told me to put my item up for registration. Didn't tell me to put it in the bot, but just up for registration. Once I told him that it was up for registration, a bot then sent me a trade request. I didn't know this was a real thing or not, but it seemed so legit because it not only had a security code, but it was like a bot that had no friends, it didn't play games, and I was so close to actually accepting this thing and losing many dollars worth of keys. But thankfully I got a grip of myself, looked at a video, and was able to clear that whole situation up. OP Skins is no joke, and stay away from that site if you want, or keep on coming, but it's dangerous if people want you to go there. If you ever are looking for a website to deposit your items in, I would suggest scrap.tf. It is the safest, and I actually trust it, which is kind of crazy for me. But the only other options you have are like TF Outpost and backpack.tf, of which you don't even have to register things in. Those 3 websites are my 3 that I always use, and therefore if you ever want to use them, go ahead, just be safe. Finally, this is going to be how to prevent a few scam attempts from you. Number 1 would have to be keeping a solid look on your backpack.tf listings, because you know someone who is asking for non-listed hats obviously doesn't use backpack.tf, and that's a pretty big red flag for a TF2 user to not use it. Of course, another thing to help counter these scammers is to have a trash unusual in your inventory. Mine would have to be my Stormy Storm Coupe Disaster. Sure, it's a trash unusual, but it was given to me by my brother on my birthday, and it looks like the hair of my favorite cartoon character, Bluster the Benevolent. With that sentimental value, I'm never going to trade it away, and the fact that people want to actually buy it off of me when it's not even listed is a little bit weird. I'll tell you that much. If you actually watched this whole video, I just want to say thanks. It means a lot that you actually watched this, and this is the first time I've ever done a video quite like this. If this has helped, I'm glad that it did, and if you want to even tell me a story of how you got scammed, leave it in the comment section. Tell me what hat it was and what effect, and who knows, maybe next time I make a video, I'll have the whole calculation of everybody who put their thing in the comment section. With that, I bid you all a good night, and good luck on your trading. See ya.